Hey you guys, it's Moonlander back with another random 5 picks from Amazon Prime. On this one, all of these movies are from the 80s, so I thought that'd be kind of fun. But anyway, so the first one on this list is a movie called Wild Beast. And it's an Italian movie directed by Franco Perse. I'm not sure how to say his last name. But anyway, he did this shockumentary called Mondo Cane, and it's like from the 60s, and it just kind of shows a bunch of odd things about humans, and it's really entertaining, so if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. But anyway, so this movie is about PCP getting put into the water system, and it's about it getting to the zoo animals in this town. It sounds great, doesn't it?
It's in the cat area. Oh, Christ!
I didn't think this movie was gonna be nearly as good as it was. It was really entertaining. I mean, if you're real into animal rights and stuff, you might not like it, but I think in like the first couple minutes, they were showing them like cutting a real cow head in half with a machete to feed lions. There's plenty of action in this movie involving the animals. Like, they got real footage of like elephants going down the city street and attacking people in their cars, and there's some guys like wrestling around with cheetahs and lions in this movie. Anyway, this one I highly suggest watching it. It was really entertaining. It's funny, and I haven't really quite seen a movie where they use the animals in this way, so it was really pretty fun movie. Some facts about this movie: the director had his foot stepped on by one of the elephants when they were filming at an airport. And they painted the rats in this movie black when they were actually white. And I just hope they really didn't take a flamethrower to them. Because there's a scene where they're like trying to kill the rats with flamethrowers. But anyway, so this is, yeah, definitely check this one out. Alright. So the next one we're going to talk about is called Madman. Okay, and in this movie, Madman, it stars Galen Ross, who is the lady from the original Dawn of the Dead, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, in this movie, I actually caught myself jumping, so it had a pretty good, eerie atmosphere about it at parts, but I really didn't enjoy this one. Now, it's a slasher film at a summer camp, so you got the camp counselors and the kids, and I mean, I guess the thing that bugged me about this movie most was it was a slasher film and it had no gore in it. Like, I think there was like one decapitated head they showed. But yeah, there's no gore in this movie. And I also found it irritating that one of the most annoying characters was like the hero of the story. And this was a woman who would suggest that people go and look for missing people, but she would never actually go herself to look. And there was even a part when she was confronted about it, and she said, I have 5 children to look after. Well, they all have children to look after, but anyway, so it just, that really bugged me. I mean, I wanted her to die. I guess the slasher movies, it kind of makes it funner if you want the people to die. And besides not really having any gore, there wasn't really any interesting kills. So, without gore, it's hard to make it interesting. Yeah, and there was no nudity in this movie. But anyway, it's about the camp. One of the camp counselors, calls out this, mythic figure that supposedly comes to kill everyone if you call out his name to the woods. And so the villain in this movie isn't very cool either. It kind of looks like a cross between Santa Claus and a hillbilly. So a lot of effort wasn't put into the killer in this movie. But, I mean, this movie isn't done, like, terribly. So if you're really into slasher movies and you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth checking out. Because when you like a certain thing, there's just never enough, But, yeah, so if you don't like slasher movies, I'd skip this one. Okay, and next we have this movie called Chopping Mall, and it's about a mall, a decent, like, 3-story mall, where they decide they're going to replace the security with 3 robots, with AI.
They broke into the mall for the wildest all-night party of their lives.
It's dead meat.
But you're never alone in the chopping mall.
The building gets struck by lightning and the robots go haywire and, attempt to kill anybody they come across. And there's a group of employees with them, girlfriends and boyfriends who, are having a little sex party or something in one of the furniture stores one of the people work at. And so it's about them surviving the night against these 3 robots. One of the parts I enjoyed about watching this movie was like getting to look at a 80's mall. And I thought that was pretty cool. And apparently they had to film the movie during, closed hours at the mall and make it appear as they weren't filming by 9 a.m. the next morning. So I thought that was neat. But anyway, so it's a pretty fun movie to watch, and I do suggest checking it out. I mean, there's no real cool gore or anything. There's a part when one of the robots is like, chasing a blonde and it shoots these lasers out of its eyes, and the lasers are like hitting her in the butt, and she's just like, oh, but then like a minute later it shoots her in the head and her head explodes. It was kind of funny. So it's just a fun movie to watch, or if you haven't seen it since like way back when, it'd probably be fun to watch it again.
Robot blood.
Okay, the next movie is called Blood Rage, and this is another slasher movie, and it's about these twins when they were young. They were at a drive-in movie theater, and they were sleeping in the back of their car while their mom was up front with her boyfriend, and they start, to get it on, and this disturbs one of the twins, and he finds a hatchet in the back of another vehicle and decides to hit someone in the face with it who's also getting it on. So he has a problem with people getting it on. But anyway, before everybody comes over after they hear this screaming, he wipes blood on his twin brother's face and hands him the hatchet. And he ends up going away to a mental institute. And 10 years later, he's able to realize he didn't actually do the killing. While the killer twin is, out leading a normal life, going to college, having friends. And so when he escapes 10 years later, he decides to return home. And the evil twin brother decides to start killing again and, leading people to believe it's him, and he's escaped and he's killing these people again. Now, this movie was actually, good for a slasher movie from the 80's. I enjoyed it. Okay, and the actor that played the twins was Mark Soper, and He did a good job. I liked his performances in both roles. Like the one brother that's not a killer, and spent most of his life in an institution is, weird and awkward. Well, the killer, he's a smooth operator. People like him, and he's a psycho. And I thought he did a good job in both roles. The one person I didn't like in this movie was the mom, and she's basically nuts because one of her sons is a killer. And I really didn't care for her performance. Like, I thought it was, written pretty well, but I just don't think she did much with it. There isn't really any interesting kills. It's all pretty basic, like I stab you or cut your hand off kind of stuff. But, it's a little gory, but nothing special. It definitely had a comedy type feel to it. It is pretty funny. And, a lot of the lines were goofy, like, it was around Thanksgiving time, and the killer kept saying, "Oh, that's not cranberry sauce." Okay, and the last movie on this list is from 1987, and it's called Street Trash. Now, I've seen the picture of this movie around, but I've never watched it, so I thought I'd give it a try. And, to tell you the truth, I don't really think there's much of a story here to tell you about. But anyway, it's about bums, basically. But anyway, this liquor store owner, digs out this crate from his basement and starts selling these little pints, to the bums for $1. And when they drink this, they immediately start melting and dying in really bizarre and pretty cool ways.
Well, be forewarned. Freedom has its price. Yes, there's always a snake in the Garden of Eden.
There's even a scene where this bum is on the toilet, and he melts into the toilet, and he manages to start to flush the toilet as he's melting in it. And they did a pretty cool job with the effects, I thought. They used really strange colors for the gore, but I thought it worked. It was fun to watch. The whole time you're just waiting to watch the next person drink it. And it's gross. Yeah, and one of the actors in the movie, I think they got to play the lead bad guy. He even said, he didn't really even understand what his character was. I don't know what they were going for on the story-wise. I understand it doesn't really need to have much, but at the same time, it just seemed nonsensical to me, but the worst part about this movie, watching it on Amazon Prime, is it is a cut version. And I did a little bit of reading, and apparently I missed a scene where the bums play catch with a severed penis. And, I guess, I'm sorry I missed that. But, yeah, so if you watch it on Amazon Prime, you're not going to get the whole experience. And this is a gross out movie. It's kind of reminds me of a trauma movie. But, yeah, so, and when you're watching a movie like that, that's relying on the gross and odd stuff, you don't want things left out. So, I do suggest watching this movie, but I just don't watch it on Amazon Prime. Alright, that ought to do it. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed all of those to a certain extent. They were all entertaining and all done, halfway decently. And, I wished all of them had, more gore or interesting kills, except maybe the Street Trash movie. They did pretty good in that department. But alright, you guys, I'll see you on the next video.